During the debate over impeachment at the Constitutional Convention,
She's electric.
George Mason also asked, shall any man be above justice? Shall that man be above it who can commit the most extensive injustice? In his great wisdom, he knew that injustice committed by the president erodes the rule of law, the very idea of fair justice, which is the bedrock of our democracy. And if we allow a president to be above the law, we do so surely at the peril of our republic. In America, no one is above the law.
I agree with that.
Over the past few weeks, through the Intelligence Committee working with the Foreign Affairs and Oversight Committees, the American people have heard the testimony of truly patriotic career public servants, distinguished diplomats, and decorated war heroes.
Oh my God.
Some of the president's own appointees. The facts are uncontested. The president abused his power for his own personal political benefit
There's some
at the
contesting
expense
here.
of our national security,
This is
by
crazy.
withholding military aid and crucial Oval Office meeting in exchange
What's happening
for an
to her?
announcement of an
To her?
investigation
Yeah, what is this?
into his political
She's
life.
1,000 years old, and Disney
Yesterday,
doesn't have the vocal
Judiciary
track of the
Committee-
animatronics
at the
around
Judiciary
here.
Committee, the American people heard testimony
Remember,
from
the
leading
voice is the
American
hardest thing to
constitutional
get.
scholars who illuminated without a doubt that the president's actions are a profound violation of the public trust. The president's actions have seriously
She sounds like
violated
a
the
smoker.
Constitution.
And let me tell you another thing.
Especially when he says and acts upon the belief. Article 2 says I can do whatever I want. No. His wrongdoing strikes at the very heart of our Constitution, a separation of powers, 3 co-equal branches, each a check and balance on the other. A republic, if we can keep it, said Benjamin Franklin. Our democracy
love how they're
is what
quoting
is
these
at
guys now.
stake. The
They're
president
all
leaves
white,
us no choice
rich
but to act.
slave owners.
Because he is trying to corrupt, once again, the election for his own benefit. The president has engaged in abuse of power, undermining our national security and jeopardizing the integrity of our elections. His actions are in defiance of the vision of our founders and the oath of office that he takes to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Sadly, but with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders, and a heart full of love for America.
Oh gosh.
Today, I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment.
Oh my
I
gosh,
commend
this
our
is a
committee
shock.
chairs and our members for their somber approach to actions
somber-
which I wish the president had not made necessary.
Unbelievable.
In signing the Declaration of Independence, the founders invoked a firm reliance on divine providence.
Providence. Oh my gosh.
Don't you do it.
Oh my
Democrats,
gosh.
too, are prayerful, and we will proceed in a manner worthy of our oath of office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Oh my gosh, in defense.
From all enemies.
Okay,
foreign
stop.
and domestic.
I don't. No, go ahead. Take it. I can't take it. But go ahead. Keep her up. Oh, she's done.
Oh, she's done. There she goes. That was one of the worst speeches I've ever heard in my entire life. She is awful.
I just about went blind. About hysterical blindness.
Did she do this to troll people? All she ever talks about in public is the Constitution and God. And then none of her actions reflect either of those things.
None. Ever. I mean, think about this. This is coming from a party who believes the Constitution is an outdated, antiquated document that barely has anything to do with today. You think the founders couldn't see Donald Trump? I didn't see Donald Trump 5 years ago. How could the founders see it? Yet, this esteemed old dusty document, somehow or another, still sees him. Huh. Wow. It's like it really does work. Except you're saying you want a somber and stoic process here?
Oh,
That's been anything but this. Yesterday was an absolute joke. A joke.
And not to mention, I mean, this is like the equivalent of a NFL head coach calling a press conference 2 days before the Super Bowl and saying, "We intend to play in the Super Bowl." It's It's like, well, we already know you won the championship game. You're all here. You're practicing. We know you're going ahead with the impeachment. This is not a shock. You did not need a press conference to tell us you were going to try to impeach the president of the United States. You told us in 2017.
Except it's not like that because they didn't win the championship. This is like Colin Kaepernick coming out and saying, I'm going to be the quarterback on the winning Super Bowl team.
If he was the owner of the team. The point is that this is an obvious thing that we all knew was going on, and they have complete control over it.
This is crazy.
We all knew that they were going to impeach. We pretty much knew the second they got control of the House. And honestly, it's been their goal since day one.
So here's the only thing that keeps me sane today, honestly, is
drugs.
I have been thinking about whiskey an awful lot.
I gotta say, it's great. I mean,
I have to tell you,
it really works.
I see people now with a glass of whiskey, and I miss it terribly.
And you know what? It's consistent, and it's always there for you.
Exactly
it
right.
always works.
Now, some would say God would be a better thing to do, but whiskey is easier.
Yeah,
it's easier. And quite frankly, as a time where I'm getting ready to pay my tithing, it's cheaper. I could lose my job, and it's still cheaper. Anyway, oh my gosh. The only thing that keeps me sane is the fact that I just don't believe the American people, and I mean Democrats, think this is fair either. I really don't. Now, I'm not talking about the Democrats who are the diehard, at any cost. Because there are those Trump supporters who are like, at any cost, he could go out and shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue with some Trump supporters. And they would be like, so he had a right to do it. No, not really. Not really. So I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about I would hope 60%. I would actually hope 80 or 90, but I think it's about 60% of the nation that can honestly say, this is not right. This isn't fair. This isn't right.
Well, it seems particularly unconvincing, right? I mean, I think you look back at the way this is rolled out, you have to think their plan from the beginning of this was go through the Mueller thing, get the results, find all the stuff that was obvious that they colluded, or whatever we can paint to the people that there's collusion between Trump and Russia. Then we go through impeachment after that long process. Well, they just cataclysmic failure when it came to the Mueller report.
Right.
They got nothing out of it. No one believed it was impeachable. It was nothing. So then they're like, well, if we wait past a week after hearing about this phone call, he's going to wind up, we're going to be in the election. We have to get this done this year. How are we going to do that? Just go for it. So this is like almost like a substitute for what they thought they were going to get out of Mueller.
This is a jam down. Anything, whatever it takes. If it means silencing people, if it means, just ramrodding this through, there is no semblance of fairness here at all. Look at the people they had speak yesterday. Look at their record. They are. I'm gonna talk about them tonight at 5:00. By the way, it's an audience show tonight. I haven't done an audience show in a long time. It's all about impeachment. With your questions, you can still tweet your questions at what is it? Is it at Blaze? At the Blaze? At the Blaze and hashtag Ask Glenn. But I'm going to be answering your questions with a live audience tonight, and I'm going to be exposing who these people were that testified yesterday. What's her name that Gates came after? Listen to this exchange from yesterday with
Matt Gaetz.
with Matt Gaetz and the Supreme legal scholar, who of course is very, very neutral. Listen to this exchange. We don't have it yet? Okay, all right. We're having a problem today with
technical difficulties.
Some technical.
Please stand by.
It was Pamela Karlan And well, she's a Stanford law professor. She's clerk for Supreme Court Justice Blackburn. She's great. Well, yeah, there's some other things that she has done that are. She is a self-described bisexual. I think she said bisexual bitch. Didn't she self-describe herself as that at one? But not yesterday.
Have a little pride.
She and some of the others that were testifying yesterday are part of the resistance movement. They've been openly calling for impeachment. One of them openly called for impeachment before he was sworn in. This is who they have?